Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys. It sound right, boy.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Totally Magic channel. Oh, it feels great to be back. We are back in the kitchen. I know that annoys a lot of people, but I love it here. It's been about 5 months, I think, since we last uploaded a trick here at YouTube. It is nice that a lot of you did contact me and we've been conversing over email, swapping ideas and routines. And as I said, a lot of those are going to be shown over the coming months. If it is your first time here at the channel, then please consider hitting that subscribe button. Also that little bell next to it, that way you'll be notified when we do upload a new video. The trick that I thought we'd start off with on our return is a nice basic simple one. You know me, I do love tricks that are easy to perform but have a great impact. Now this particular trick I think you'll enjoy because you can do it with just one person or a couple of people, and you need just a regular deck of playing cards. And as I said, we're not going to just choose one card, we're actually going to choose a couple of cards. We're going to imagine we got two people to help us. We have John over here and Steve over here. So I'm going to say to John, can you cut about a third of the pack for yourself? Now he will cut about a third of the pack. We're shifting this over to Steve, and Steve, can you cut about half of the deck? Happy there? All right. What I'd like you to do, Steve, is just have a quick peek at that top card and then put it back on top of the pack. Now Steve will look at the top card, he will then put it back on the pack. You then say, I tell you what, let's all shuffle our cards. John, you shuffle yours, Steve, you shuffle yours, and everyone shuffles the cards. And we mix up all of these thoroughly. So now that we've all shuffled the cards, we've lost it. Steve, you're now remembering the card that you peeked at. Yeah. Now, John, you haven't picked a card yet. You have shuffled them. What I'd like you to do is do the same as Steve. Just have a look at the top card. So John will look at the top card and remember it. Put it back on top. And would you like to shuffle my cards in case you don't trust me? Now, John can shuffle these and he drops them on top. We'll move these over to Steve. Steve, have you shuffled your cards? You're happy with that? Drop those on top. I think you'll agree that by now, after all these shuffles, I shuffled, you shuffled, shuffled and shuffled. I think we can say that we've definitely lost our cards in there somewhere. On top of that, I've got no idea what they are, but I do believe as a magician I can pick up those senses, those thought waves. All you've got to do is to think of your card. Yeah, just think of your card. And I'm just going to go through and yeah. There you go, Steve. That, I believe, is your... No, I know that's your card. Yeah. John, if you can do the same, just... think of your card. Having a bit of trouble with you. Are you sure you're thinking of the right card? Yeah? There it is. That, I guarantee, is your card. Now, wouldn't it be amazing if after all of what's happened that I've managed to pick up on the card that you thought of and the card that you thought of? Steve, what was your card? The 8 of clubs, and there is your card. I know you're impressed. Now, John, you haven't told me what your card is, but I guarantee this is your card. Ready? And there you go. What? That's not your card. Maybe you're not quite aware of the rules of playing cards. Did you not know that a joker is wild? It can represent any card in the pack. It really can. So what was your card? The two of diamonds. Well, there you go, the two of diamonds. But I jest with you. You see, not only are jokers wild, they're also known as the whispering jokers. Never tell them a secret, they know everything. So if we just listen, okay. You said your card was a two of diamonds. He says it's on top. Have a look. John removes the card and reveals the two of diamonds. And that is a great double whammy card trick. Okay, so here is the tutorial for this very easy card trick. It's not a new trick, it's been around for many years, and some of you may even be familiar with the handling of this, but someone that I was chatting to the other day reminded me about it, so I thought it'd be a good one to start, because it's a semi self worker, so there's no sleights or anything that's involved. It kind of works itself. So let's take a look. You do need just a regular deck of playing cards. There's nothing special about that. However, there is a bit of a setup. Let me just go through it with you. You need to remove all of the cards in one particular suit. Now the suit doesn't matter. It can be diamonds, hearts. I actually use clubs. And you have them in numerical order, ace through to king. Okay, and if I turn that over, the ace is on top. You then take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now I find 11 cards works best on top, and I'll explain why in a moment. So you put 11 cards on top, there is your stack. So if you think about it, you've got just under half the pack there. You can now see that when I shuffled at the beginning, you can do a shuffle, but don't go beyond halfway, okay? Unless, I'm sure you guys know better full shuffles than me. I drop the stack on top, turn the pack over, I then get a joker and just put it somewhere in the lower half of the pack. Now, you're all ready to perform. So you can pick up the cards, you can shuffle the cards face up. This does two things. One, it shows them that you're mixing the cards, but secondly, they get to see it's a regular deck in no particular order. Now, what I do is I stop before I get halfway and kind of say, we're going to pick two cards, any two cards. I then just do a cut. It looks as though you've just done a shuffle and a cut. That's it. There's the cards. You then push them to one spectator and you say to them, can you cut about a third of the cards? Now, they've got plenty of leeway even if they don't cut very well. So these cuts don't have to be accurate, okay? They haven't got to be precise. So if he cuts quite badly there, all he's going to do is to cut somewhere in among your 13 stacked cards, the clubs. Okay, so as you can see, he has cut within the clubs. So even if he did a really bad cut, he's still going to be within there. That's why I put 11 cards on top, and you may want to play around with that figure, but I find that works out about right, that if someone does a really deep cut, they're still within the clubs. So this isn't gonna, I've never had this go wrong. So you say, can you take about a third of the cards? Okay, cut about a third of the cards. Don't forget, if you get one of your friends doing this, and you know what friends are like, they're always kind of awkward. You ask them to take a third of the cards and they lift off 2 cards. If that happens, you say, well, give me a bit of a challenge, or you've got to have enough cards to play with in a moment, so take a few more. So they cut about a third. You then push them over to the second spectator and ask them to cut half. Now, where they cut makes no difference because this is going to be their card on top. Okay, so when they cut, you take the rest of the cards, and now you get this person to look at the top card. Okay, once they've looked at the top card, you get them to put it back on top. Now, I used to get them to push it in there, which you can do, but there's a reason why I'm getting them to put it on top. Okay, so it goes on top. Once they've remembered that and put it back on top, you then all start to shuffle. Now this convinces everyone, even magicians watching, that there's no key card or anything that you're working to. So they can shuffle the cards. So they get all shuffled up like that. Even the first person that hasn't taken a card yet, they shuffle their cards. Once you've all shuffled, you then turn to the first spectator and say to them, you haven't chosen a card yet, so if you can do exactly the same as Steve, and so you're keeping it consistent with what you're doing. So he will look at the top card. Now it just happens to be another club, but it could be any card, okay, any card at all. He looks at it, puts it back down on top. Now you need this to go on top. Hence the reason why I got the first person to put theirs on top, so that there's no change. Because if I'd got this person to bury theirs when they returned it, then this person may wonder, how comes I've got to put mine on top, yet that guy could bury his. So keep it consistent. He's remembered that. He has shuffled those cards. You then hand them your cards and say, would you like to shuffle my cards? Now that convinces them even more, and magicians, that there's no key card. And they drop that on top. Okay, simple as that. Push them across, and this guy puts his on top. Everything is done. This is how you find or discover the two cards. First of all, this person over here. When you go through the cards, skip over half the pack. The top face pack is of no relevance to you, so just skip over that quickly while you're saying think of your card. When you get past the halfway mark, you're looking for all the clubs that you hold. Now don't forget, these were shuffled by this guy, so they're not going to be in sequence probably. So as you go through, I can see there's some clubs there. There's a club there, a club, club and club. So there's all the clubs I've got. Now all you're looking for is the lowest value club from your stack. So when I look at all of these, I can see that the 7 is the lowest club. Okay, so with that in mind, you know that's their card and you pull that out. However, this 7 does indicate where the second spectator's card is. This 7, you always add 10. Okay, so just add the number 10 to that. That gives you a number of 17. When you put that down, I then go through the cards and you're going to count from the face 17 cards. Watch what we end up with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. It indicates this person's card. Simple as. Now, if you want to play this differently to how I performed it, you could put that down and the trick's done. I like to make it a little bit different. So what I do is, when I find their card, I cut it to the top of the pack, and then I carry on looking for the joker, wherever it may be. And I kind of say to them, I'm having trouble picking up the thoughts, think of the colour, the suit, and then you pull this out. So I'm getting the joker. You then do the gag about the whispering joker and wild card, and then it says turn over the top card, and they turn over the top card and it says, if you want to, I guess you could even, when you're doing this, stack some cards on top like that. So before you put them down, I know that the 6th card down is their card. So you could even elaborate and say, so what was your card? What was the value of your card? The 6. Well, he says it's 6 down, and you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it turns up. I'll leave it up to you to how you want to play this, but I think it's a fantastic trick to start with. As I said, nothing can go wrong. I've never had any problems with this. It works every time. But try it yourself. It's amazing when you do this that it does always know which card the first spectator and the second spectator chose very easily. Don't forget, if you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. Until next time, practice and enjoy the magic.